There we go. That's better. What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Toyzilla. Welcome to another episode of Toyzilla's Book Club. We will be continuing our book, The Looking Glass Wars, by Frank Better. Let's see. The chapters we're doing today are 40, 41, and 42. If you haven't read any of the chapters beforehand, we do have all of the previous videos up on our YouTube channel. Just go to Toyzilla and search for that bear bot symbol. Y'all know what it look like. Now, y'all know that so far, we get it. The Looking Glass Wars is the true story of Alice in Wonderland. That's what I love about Fractured Fairy Tales. It's always putting a new spin on those old stories, giving us something else to look forward to. You know what I mean? Now, if some of y'all have done some artwork that you want to send in based off of what you've read, I would really love to see it. Just leave a comment below and be like, hey, where can I send it to? Then I'll start letting y'all know. Until then, until y'all start asking, I'm going to keep it under wraps. So let's go ahead and get started while I don't sweat. I'm so excited. You know what? Let me drink a little bit of water so I don't stutter as much, so I don't, slobber all over the page. Always stay hydrated, y'all. Okay, let's go ahead and start. Chapter 40. How could she not have been there? Where else would she be? Banging the end of her scepter on the floor with every other word, red sent long-stemmed flesh-eating roses slithering around the feet of Jack of Diamonds and the thick padded paws of the cat, both of whom had to keep moving to prevent the flowers from climbing up their legs. Maybe the Jack of Diamonds isn't as loyal as you supposed, said the cat. Red turned on Jack. Yes, perhaps. My queen, your imperial viciousness. The most important Allisons were there and could have been done away with if the cat hadn't been concerned solely with Alice. I demanded that he be solely concerned with Alice. But I don't think she's as dangerous as... Who asked you? Red bellowed. Her scepter lifted into the air, its pointed end poised at the pulsing hollow of Jack of Diamonds' throat. You don't by chance have 9 lives. Jack swallowed hard. I only have one, which I devote to you, your imperial viciousness. Red twirled her scepter like a baton Red twirled her scepter like a baton and stood it at her side. Cat, why is there an empty box of orb generators in the hall? An ammunition container slid into the room, moved by Red's imagination. Oh, that? The cat had been waiting for her to ask. Jack of Diamonds was in for it now. We found it, and many more at the Allison camp. I checked their manufacture codes. They were stolen from your factory 3.5 lunar cycles ago. The thieves were interrogated and punished, but the 12 containers of stolen weapons were not where they informed us they'd be. Get to the point, cat, or you will feel one in your guts. The feline assassin bowed in acknowledgement. Your imperial viciousness. You captured the thieves because of intelligence received by Jack of Diamonds. You allowed the pudgy lord to have dealings with the Allisons. How could the Allisons have come into possession of these weapons if not for him? He knew where to find the thieves. He must have known where to find the weapons. Interesting, said a thoughtful Red. So my well-fed informant has been taking advantage of the freedoms I grant him by supplying weapons to my enemies? No, absolutely not, declared Jack. Your imperial viciousness, this is ludicrous. We'll see how ludicrous it is. Again, the sharpened point of Red's scepter was at Jack of Diamond's throat. But thoughts of Alice had never completely left her head, and in a blink of imagination's eye, she saw the princess surrounded by sparkling, evanescent surfaces. She's in the crystal continuum, Red shrieked. Smash the looking glasses, every last one! Red's face, wild with rage, flashed onto the billboards and government posters of Wondertropolis. Every looking glass in the kingdom is to be smashed now! But the force of her anger beat most Wonderlanders to it. In pubs and stimulant dens throughout Wondertropolis, in the homes of ordinary Wonderlanders, in the gated and patrolled mansions of ranking families, looking glasses exploded. Wonderlanders, eager for havoc, ran through the streets, breaking windows and anything that could even remotely serve as a reflective surface. They were trapped. Oh, sorry. Chapter 41. They were trapped. Marooned. They would be killed for sure. Glass eyes ahead of them. Glass eyes behind. The continuum. It's it's disappearing. With every looking glass in the Queendom smashed, the crystalline pathways that made up the continuum were vanishing. The glass eyes advanced to come on Alice, and the others were themselves being chased by a void, and the void was gaining. To be swallowed by nothingness is to become nothing. At least they wouldn't suffer. One felt nothing upon becoming nothing. The void rushed to the glass eyes, consumed the rear guards first, and moved quickly up their ranks. No more glass eyes. And still, the void came fast. Anyone have a pocket-looking glass? Dodge asked. Alice and the others glanced at him, not understanding. Quick! Bibwood reached into the folds of his robe, then pulled out a looking glass no bigger than a turtle bird's wing. Dodge took hold of it. No Wonderlander had ever attempted what he was about to do. There had never been a need. He held the looking glass at an angle, aiming it so that it reflected a small portion of the continuum, regenerating it. As fast as the void swallowed up what was behind them, the modest little mirror added the corresponding length of the continuum ahead of them. But now what? Were they doomed to race to the void, safe in this small portion of continuum, which, had he been at leisure, Bibwood would have pointed out was no longer strictly a continuum, since it connected to nothing, and without the pocket glass it would not, in fact, continue. Were they destined to be imprisoned in the mobile prism, zipping this way and that through pure emptiness until they perished from starvation or fatigue caused Dodge to drop the glass? What's that? Is it? It is. A way out. At least one looking glass in the kingdom must have still been intact. Ahead of them in the void, a short distance off, was a crystal byway, a dead end. Where it had once connected with the continuum's main thoroughfare, it now simply stopped, connected to nothing. Dodge. I see it. With subtle shifts in angle in the way he held the looking glass, Dodge steered them over and they linked up with it. The additional light and increased play of translucent colors were like the dance of life itself. Dodge, Bibwood, and Alice, General Doppelganger, Hatter, they emerged from the continuum in the same order in which they'd entered, discovered themselves in a landscape resembling the open belly of a volcano, with clouds of sulphurous smoke drifting lazily into the upper reaches of the sky, and jets of flame spouting from rocky ground between streams of bubbling lava. The volcanic plains. Ooh. Chapter 42. They trekked single file along a volcano's narrow ridge, their noses and mouths covered with cloth torn from Bibwood's robe to protect them from airborne ash. It was too hot to speak, almost too hot to breathe. No one had said a word since they first emerged onto the volcanic plains, and Dodge had suggested they smash the exit portal just in case. Red's diabolically inventive mind was not to be underestimated. Any remnant of the crystal continuum might cause her to reconstruct it in its entirety, providing her with the means to reach the plains that much sooner. Now Red and her armies would have to travel on foot or by beast. The looking glass must have been used by Jabberwocky poachers, Bibwood Hart had said. Lucky for us, it was overlooked or we'd still be. He shivered with the thought of the void. If Red saw us in the continuum, she might still be watching us, General Doppelganger had observed. Can't be helped, Hatter had said. Dodge had been impatient. Then let's stop standing around and get to where we have to go. So Bibwit, who carried detailed maps of the queendom within his bald head, led them toward the Valley of Mushrooms. Picking their way along the rocky, irregular ridge, they constantly had to look down to be sure of their footing, all the time reminding themselves of how high they were and how dangerous their passage. Ah! A hardened chunk of lava hit General Doppelganger on the shoulder. The Allisons paused, looked up. Another chunk of lava rock fell. Another and another. The volcano's moving. Not the entire volcano, just the topmost layer of rock and earth on the steep slope above them. The ridge gave way, crumbling beneath the Allisons' feet, and they tumbled and rolled down into a gorge at the base of the volcano. General Doppelganger was half buried in earth and rubble. Bibwit came to rest completely upside down, his feet in the air, but he quickly righted himself, coughing and spitting, before he was suffocated. Alice, being the lightest among them, had bounced down the volcano's craggy lower slope and slid to a stop on a bed of gravel. How lucky. Hatter and Dodge stood wiping lava crud from their coat sleeves as if surviving a landslide was something they did every day. "Everyone all right?" asked General Doppelganger. "Alice?" Dodge's voice concerned. "I'm okay." She didn't want the others to think she considered a few scrapes and bruises serious injuries. She was supposed to be strong enough to defeat Red. "Someone's watching us," she said. A pair of yellow-green eyes were peering at them from the black mouth of a nearby cave. Before anyone could speak, the giant reptilian head of a Jabberwock thrust forward from between two boulders. Its long tongue lashed at Bibwit, scorching a swath through the sleeve of his robe to his delicate skin. Yow! Even in the heat of the plains, Alice and the others could feel the hotness of the Jabberwock's breath, fouled by the stink of carcass meat. The creature opened its slobbery mouth impossibly wide, as a cobra does to swallow a rabbit, a display of menace quite uncalled for, since the Jabberwock could have easily fit two full-grown Wonderlanders in its jaws with any old everyday chomp. The Allisons backed toward the cave. The Jabberwock lurched toward them, shot a spitball of fire at Alice. She dived to the ground, and the fireball flared against the gorge wall. But in its brief explosion of light, the Allisons saw the yellow-green eyes in the cave belonged to a miniature Jabberwock surrounded by gnawed bones. A newborn. "She's protecting her baby," Bibwit said. The mother Jabberwock rose up on her hind legs, preparing to charge, and in a single swift motion, Hatter took off his top hat, flicked it into blades, and hurled it at a rock overhanging the cave entrance. Drink, 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 drink! Rocks loosened and fell into a pile, blocking the mouth of the cave. Hatter's blades were still boomeranging back to him when the mother Jabberwock let out a pained wail, and ignoring the Allisons, scratched and scrabbled at the fallen debris, clearing it away to save her baby, as Alice and the others escaped unharmed along the gorge floor. Each of them knew without saying it aloud, as long as they were on the plains, the threat of Jabberwocky still loomed. Oh, that's the end of chapter 42. All right now, y'all. Thank y'all for joining me again for another episode of Toyzilla's Book Club. Again, I would love to see your artwork pertaining to the chapters. Tomorrow will get us another 3M. After our video gaming sessions. They start at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Wednesday, Thursdays, and Fridays. So I'd love it if you guys would join me for those as well. On Twitch. You guys know that. You know the link, right? Twitch.tv/Toyzilla01. And that's how you'll find me to watch live. If you don't want to watch live and you enjoy catching the videos, just come right back here, okay? Well, once again, I loved having you guys, so it's time for me to go. Alright, and remember, if you like what you see, you turned on your PC and viewed it. Goodbye now, everybody. Your girl Toyzilla is out.